starting now.
Harley, are you all up on Game of Thrones?
Yes.
How are you liking it so far? I don't want to poison your opinion with my own.
Your audience knows spoiler alerts when these come out, that it could be...
They know spoiler alerts aplenty for the Game of Thrones.
So, Jaime Lannister is not dead, right?
He should be. Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
Dude, no, Bronn should be dead. I was reading this on the internet, and I agree with the guy completely. So Bronn is a good character, but a secondary character, right? The shows improved.
The books a long time ago.
Say that again?
He hasn't been present in the books for a long time now.
But we all love Bronn, right? That's a perfect reason to kill him, right? If Bronn was out there, wounds the dragon, pulls that big giant ballista arrow thing back, the dragon spots him, hits him with the fire, Bronn turns into ashes, that would have been an outstanding sort of brave ending. We didn't need someone else. Jaime could have jumped on the horse on his own, and the story would have been better. Bronn would have died. That's how they needed
to save Bronn.
I don't want to save Bronn. I want to kill Bronn.
Oh.
If Bronn had died last week, then we'd all be like, "Oh my God, Bronn died!" You know, no one's safe on this show.
But what do you think right now? What about like Jaime Lannister is more of an impact than Bronn, right?
Jaime's fine. They're both fine.
Yeah,
hold on. How is Jaime fine?
Because he got tackled off the horse by Bronn, and now he's not in the water.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
He'll take that armor off. He'll swim to the top, and he'll be a captive.
Just saying. He has a metal arm, and he's covered in armor. I'm just saying, and it's a crazy thing to say, but like, I can't imagine anyone realistically pulls him out of that other than the dragon.
Realistically, no, but we are talking about a show with dragons, and I don't think they would have wasted a shot.
Is it going to do that? Like, is it going to start the next episode and Jaime Lannister is going to be all dried up and be like, "Oh, close call"? Like, that would be dumb. Because
that's exactly what it's going to be. He's going to be dumping water out of his boot. I guarantee it.
But see, like that, I worry that it's that because, truth be told, if you threw him in the water and you ended the episode there, like, because we're so trained that unless the head is on the ground rolling, he's still alive. Like, you might think like, okay, is like, you're supposed to think Jaime's dead right now. He's in hot water, literally. So I want the next episode to make it a point that, like, maybe we get something special, like the dragon pulls Jaime out, because how else would he get out? And now we have this face-to-face Jon, Jaime, and Daenerys. Like, you know, three powerful families.
Here's an idea. All right, and this is stolen from the internet too. But Jaime gets captive, right? They're going to pull him out of the water. Now he's Dany's hostage, right? Dany sends a letter to Cersei and says, "I'll exchange you Jaime for her sand snake chicks," right? Cersei says no. She shows Jaime the letter, and Jaime changes alliances and starts working with Dany. How cool would that be?
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
I have a big feeling as well. So a White Walker is and I took a lead from what you were saying about us singing a different tune for Jaime, because Jaime pushed Bran out of the window in episode 1. We wanted him dead since episode 1, and now I'm kind of like, I hope a dragon pulls his ass out of the water, because he's good and he's kind of redeemed himself a little bit. But when we look at the whole thing, like a White Walker were those, you know, like the Night King, like on horseback, like in the first episode, and the one that looks at Jon when he's in the boat going across the water. But the White Walkers also have these zombies with them. And they're two different things. There's the White Walkers, and then there's the zombies that are the revived dead. And it looks like the revived dead,
they're called whites.
Whites. Right.
They don't have like a brain of their own. But like the White Walkers do. And we saw that scene where the White Walker, takes the baby sacrifice and brings it to, like, you know, White Walker town. And he puts the knife to the baby's face, and the baby becomes a White Walker, not a white.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, in classic Game of Thrones, from what I've learned, everything ends up being the opposite. Like, it's so important that the Stark family gets their revenge. Oh, wait, Red Wedding. They're all dead. That's not important. And it's like Jaime should die. And it's like, wait, Cersei should suffer. So it's not important that Jaime dies. And I want Arya to get her revenge on the Hound. But I want the Hound to still beat the Mountain. And these things need to happen. There needs to be these payoffs. And I'm waiting for these payoffs. And Daenerys, she should sit on the throne because she deserves it. Or maybe Tyrion or maybe Jon Snow. And meanwhile, they're all fighting each other. Jon Snow doesn't even want to take a knee in front of her. She's got all this pride. And meanwhile, the White Walkers are advancing. And I'm kind of thinking that all it takes is one episode with the right music playing and the right writing for all of us to be on Team White Walker. And that's something that can happen. Is why would we not be introduced to the White Walkers? Like if it was a zombie movie, they're relentless. And that's what I used to think, that it's zombies. They're coming. They're going to kill everything. But they're not just zombies. There's clearly like a society involved, and they raise children. So maybe there's a lot of humanizing factors that we would look at this and be like, fuck all these terrible humans. I kind of want the White Walkers to just ice everyone.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. At the very least, I hope that the White Walkers get some dialogue. We get to know them. We understand their motivations, because so far they're just monsters, right? And the real threat is these monsters that come from the cold place. That's not good enough. Let's do better, right?
Yeah, I don't feel like they're monsters. As deep as everything is, if he introduces them as not monsters, that's when we step back and we're like, oh, shit. I really like that White Walker character, and his motivation seems really relatable to me. Daenerys is starting to seem a lot like the Mad King. Like, she's really awesome.
Daenerys is really fucking annoying in this episode. First of all, the whole battle lines up where Daenerys has thousands of guys on horseback and a dragon that she rides around, and they come upon the Lannister army, which is like much, much smaller, and they're in the middle of traveling, and so obviously they're not prepared to defend, and they charge in. Dany charges everybody in right into a spear wall, and then like 2 minutes later brings the dragon in. When it's like you could have just flown, and then retardation of retardations, she comes into the front line, and with her dragon she blows a hole perpendicular to it when she could have gone
parallel
straight down the line. It's like, you stupid bitch. I'm so tired of this character being so bad of a queen, and she could have won that entire battle without losing a single man.
I don't think we can guarantee that she has full control over this dragon. This dragon did run away from her for a while. So I'll give an excuse to the show and say, I can't guarantee that she made the call. The dragon is living in its own. But are you guys part of the school that believes Tyrion is a Targaryen?
I don't know yet.
What is the thought process?
I don't know if I'm a member of that school. Dick.
Guys, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, Dick.
Guys of the school that Tyrion is a Targaryen is one of the funniest things I've heard for some. Are you telling me that Tyrion's not a Targaryen? You better fucking bet your ass that Targaryen is a Tyrion. If I've ever seen a Targaryen, fuck you, man. There's a full-on fight somewhere happening about that.
No, this conversation's stupid. He's right. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
You want to fucking put money if Tyrion is a Targaryen?
I will say why I thought that. Okay, before we abandon this conversation.
No, keep talking. He loves it.
I want to hear it.
Like, I'm immune to serialized shows for some reason. They drive me. It's because I can feel them conditioning me like a dog. I can't watch them. I never watch them. I fucking hate them.
Curse.
But if it helps, this one wasn't made to be a show necessarily. So it's not written as such to be like, how do we string them along? How do we string? So you do get if that means anything in the long run for you to watch it. But Tyrion, Tywin always says that Tyrion's no son of his. In the books, Tyrion's hair is described as slightly blonder than his brother and sister. And this is the most important one. Tyrion's the only other person other than Daenerys that has touched a dragon and not died. He was in that cave and he went right up to it and touched it, and it didn't kill him. I don't think that's like the dragon has like a good read on him. I think it's just because he's of the dragon blood.
I can't decide how fucking smart we're supposed to believe these dragons are, because one scene, like it'll like look coyly at a person and it's like, oh, something's fucking happening in there. And then the next scene you watch, this retard dragon barreling down and spending a huge burst of flames to incinerate 3 people. And it's like, that there are hundreds about. Like, you could have given yourself, like, you have a long neck, give it a little wag. Give a fuck.
When you drop a predator missile, God, you don't look for singles.
The dragon's also like 4 years old. And I don't know what that translates to, like, dragon years, but like it might be an infant. It might be an infant.
Oh, just like dogs. They're 28.
And there's only like 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 3
dragons.
One for Jon, one for Daenerys, and one for Tyrion.
Oh, and you know what else was interesting about the dragon? Yeah, I do think that kind of makes sense, the Tyrion being a Targaryen. And now the fact that I'm saying that now, I feel like such a fucking...
Tyrion is a Targaryen. Tyrion is dad's name that you said?
No, Tyrion is his name, and Targaryen is like one of the previous ruler families.
But you said another T
It's
name.
a last name.
That was like...
Tywin. Tywin is his dad.
Tywin's Tyrion is a Targaryen? That's the argument? Is Tyrion a Targaryen?
This show is really important to me, and you're ruining it.
I'm sorry.
They really, honestly, the way they do names in Westeros is they just put like 3 Ys in everything.
Yeah.
If you look at it, like you can tell he got a little lazy. Like Lord of the Rings guy, J.R.R. Tolkien, that guy went goddamn insane coming up with Elvish and Dwarven languages.
Well, that guy also finished his books.
Yes, that's a good point to him. That fat fuck George R.R. Martin's going to die of, a heart attack before he gets anything done.
How much does it suck to be him right now? Like, everyone's predicting their death and wanting books out of him, like, more than they care about the man behind the stories.
I honestly think if he never ever tunes into the internet and listens, he probably has a pretty awesome life. If he doesn't listen to the fan
Who does
base,
that, though? Yeah.
He listens.
It gets to him. It gets to him. It has to.
Didn't he, like, delete his live journal or something?
Did he? I didn't know that.
I know he had...
Yeah,
what was he
I bet if he had a live journal and the entries weren't just one after another, like working on book, went golfing. Fuck you! Oh my god! People are not happy with him because he retired after he got
not
rich.
like he's taking a weekend off. The 5th book came out when the first season of this show started, and I finished it during the first season, all 5 books, and I was like, all right, next book, I'm going to be so far ahead of this story. That was 7 years ago, and the dude has done nothing but become a type 2 diabetic. And
that's the producers have the end of
he's done nothing.
The producers have the end of the story. They know where it goes. So it's kind of like it's now made for TV. It's not a book anymore. It's like now it's a show.
Does that aggravate you though? It aggravates me.
No, because I read the first book, and then I watched the first season. And the first season was so close to the first book that I was literally like, I don't need to read them. Because I'll just read ahead and I'll be anticipating as I watch the show. And I kind of appreciate that I didn't ruin like The Red Wedding, for example, because I didn't read it. So I got the show version, and so grateful to people like yourself that read the book and didn't spoil it or anything, because it was like mind blowing. But like it was just so similar, the book to the show, that I was like, oh, great. I don't need to read this shit. I'll watch it when they do it.
So the original author is now writing fan fiction for this successful HBO series, basically? Like it's...
Is that what
well, no, he wrote the books. They took the 5 books. They made it to a show. The producers know where the show goes. And apparently he hasn't finished writing it. And now the show writing is past the book writing. So I'm sure he's not going to write the book. They're going to make it. And then they'll just like, put his name on the cover, but they'll have some ghostwriters go and just put the show into like, written form.
Wow, that's crazy. So he's not even writing it at the point of the fork. The books are going to go along with the movies.
Yeah, the books of the show. Yeah,
the show is ahead of the books.
Show first.
Wow, the show's like ahead by almost an entire book.
The show used to be behind the books.
Yeah,
there were 5 books when the show started, and now the show's 7 years in, and there's still 5 books, and everyone's very upset.
Yeah,
and Chiz pointed out here. He has 2 more books to finish. He's 68 years old and 400 pounds. 400-pound people don't live to 70.
Yeah, and this isn't a John Grisham book that you buy at an airport when you realize you forgot anything half decent to read. These are 1,000-page tomes where he spends. If he took all the effort he puts into describing food and feasts and pot pies and quail feathers dripping from the mouth of the slaves upon which they feast, or whatever the fuck he says, like he will spend one paragraph on like, and the battle commenced, and the victor was decided. And then the next page will be like, and the following day a feast was held in honor, and the feast had pot pies and pig feet and cabbage wheels or whatever.
We haven't even talked about the table yet.
Have you ever? Which table?
The table that they eat on. Oh my God, it's important. How thick is the table? How is it? He describes that. The candles on the table. He goes on with these feast things for pages. The man loves his food.
He does. Like, that's going to constantly spoil his legacy if he doesn't finish those 2 books.
Speaking of food,
like it's to Harley's point that the producer know the end of it, but if you told me the end to it, I don't think I would know all the individual, tendrils of storyline that led there and the twists. I don't think that all that information, do they? Like everything he imagined?
No, the producers know the right questions to ask. They're going to have all that stuff. They have every person's storyline fleshed out. I'm sure this entire Game of Thrones arc is literally on cue cards on a whiteboard, like somewhere in Hollywood, like beginning to end, every character, like what happens.
Is that enough though? Like, it's not the same if Gur Martin doesn't write it.
The thing is, like the show's already taken liberties in terms of dialogue and scene selection that like what you've been getting from the show is what they made. The producers made it, not him. He set up the universe and everything that they make, but like the showrunner is what's really taking the lead here, and since they've been working on it for 5 years and they know where it's all going, it's like they've put in a lot of work into the universe just as he has. So like they're experts on the matter. I trust it in their hands, basically, myself personally.
See, that's where I was headed. I feel like, I feel like a lot of the changes that the show has made, heck, the whole going to Dorne thing and leaving out what Jaime was actually doing, which I think was going to Black River or whatever the fuck he was doing.
That's the worst received episode.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just one episode. There was a whole, like, what Jaime did all season, going to Dorne and that thing was a show change. It wasn't like that in the books. In the books, he was leading an army. It was the thing with him and Bronn against the Freys, or with the Freys as bad partners or whatever. That was so much better in the books. So I don't trust the show people to get it right. If I knew how Game of Thrones ended and I laid it out for you, which I couldn't, it wouldn't be good because I'm not Gur Martin. I need Gur Martin to be part of this. Okay,
yeah,
Lady Stoneheart dropped.
Right now we're also dealing with like a couple of the most talented people in the business running the show. Like they're like I trust them. Like I think like when decisions were made now, I think that they were made because they know things that are happening later. And remember, like George might have written himself into a position that he wishes he could have changed 1 or 2 things, and it can make something different. They have that foresight now with the show to cut things out or take some liberties. And the Dorne episode, I didn't particularly enjoy it a lot, but I also didn't hate it as much until I read the sentiments of people who read the book. I was
Lady
just like
Stoneheart. So Mom Stark, Catelyn Stark, I think her name was, Caitlin. She's supposed to come back from life. She gets resurrected. She can't talk. She's pale. She can't talk because her throat was slit. And now she's just a badass going for revenge. That's her thing. Arya Stark has her list. Arya Stark's kind of getting her thing. Book readers want Lady Stoneheart. Like, that diversion is for the worst. The Sand Snake diversion is for the worst. Most of the times that it's different from the book, it's for the worse. And that's why I want Gur Martin to write the book, so that the show would have something to track.